Okay, so we're starting off with just a base coat. I usually mix water with my acrylic paint to thin out the layer, and then I just go over and just put a base. Then I'm going to start doing the hair and doing the base coat on the hair with a light wash of brown acrylic. Like I said, I water it down with water so that I can have a little bit more control on the coverage and just the depth of the actual, picture. It's hard to explain why I do that. Okay, so I'm actually going to be adding a little bit more depth to it, so I'm adding a black paint. And if you're wondering what paints I used to use the ones from Hobby Lobby. I cannot remember what they're called. I think they're called Painter's Choice. I cannot remember. I will list that down below. What products, or not products, this is not a tutorial, what paints and other tools that I use to paint. But I'm putting black on to kind of put some more definition into the hair. But don't worry, I'm going to go over it again. So I'm doing the top of the head now. I'm just going with a light wash of brown, again watered down, so that I can have just an idea of what the base will look like, and then I'll build from there. Okay, so now I'm just filling in the skin again. I'm putting another layer. This one I decided to do 2 layers. For some reason, 2 layers worked for me. Usually I go about 3 or 4 layers of the flesh tone just so that I can get it really matte and really flat. I don't know why. That's just the way I paint. So I'm going in with a mixture of the black and the flesh tone to kind of carve out her neck and put some definition and shading there, doing it to underneath her chin as well so that she could have shadowing. So now I'm filling in the face with another layer of flesh tone, and this flesh tone I combine myself. It's just a mixture of tans and beiges and creams and whites just to make that perfect skin tone. It's really hard to make the perfect skin tone. I've had a lot of practice. I used to make a more orangey, peachy color, and now I've actually mastered, or not mastered, but pretty much got an idea of what I want my flesh tones to look like now. So I'm just filling it in, and at the same time, I'm kind of defining the nose so I don't lose it when putting another layer on, because I tend to not be able to go back and fix the nose very well if I layer it. So I go slowly up the face. So now I'm kind of defining the nose again, and I did do the cheekbones as well with a mixture of the black and flesh tone. I know it looks a little patchy in her chin area, but honestly it's just wet paint, so it will dry. Now I'm putting on with no watering down, it's just a brown acrylic, and I'm going over the hair on one side, and then I'm going to start defining it with some lighter browns, just add highlight, and then blacks to add more depth and definition and distinguish the strands of hair a lot better, if that makes sense. Alright, so now I'm doing the rest of the hair. I'm actually putting another coat of brown, and then I'm working in sections with the hair so that it makes it a little bit more defined and more realistic, I guess. So I'm going with the base brown again, and then I go in with highlight with the lighter brown, and then I'll go in with black, as you can see, with a very thin brush to kind of like, and I skip the brush around when I do the strands to make it a little bit more realistic, if that makes sense. This is just how I do my hair. You can paint however you want. Alright, so now the background. I'm just putting a matte black acrylic for the background because we are going to be putting some beautiful stars in the background. This is just a signature I have. I always have a specific way of doing my backgrounds. This collection will all have the same background, so this is how I do all the backgrounds on some of them. And I think I've done most of my paintings. I am up to Scorpio. I just need to do some final touches on her, but this one is, I wanted to film this one in its beginning process to the end so that you guys can see how I do this collection. So now I'm filling in the eyebrows, and I'm using a very thin brush. I need a new thin brush because it curves a little. And then I'm just kind of like cleaning it up with some flesh tones, just kind of like how you do your makeup. You do your brows just how you do your, this painting. That's just basically what I did. And then I'm just kind of cleaning up the brows with some flesh tones, just like you do concealer. Then I'm going to go in with like a darker flesh tone to kind of create the transition shade as you do in makeup world, but this is just to so I know where the sockets are. So when I start doing the initial makeup, I know where the sockets are and I know where to begin and stop. Alright, so this part I did want to keep because I did do a certain shape of eyeshadow that I wanted. This is a metallic teal turquoise type acrylic paint, and first I did like this exaggerated smoky eye wing thing, but you'll see I did change it. And then going in with the flesh tones to kind of blend it out while the turquoise paint is still wet. You need to make sure that you do that. And I'm going in with a wing liner. You will see that this shape did not work for this painting. As you can see, I changed it. I covered it up with some more flesh tones. It's really easy to fix. Then I'm going back over the edges and then just blending them out with flesh tones mixed with the turquoise so that it kind of makes that smoky effect, just like how you do makeup. Except paint is a lot more difficult to do because it is liquid and it dries, and once it dries, it is set. So you have to work really, really fast. So I'm just blending everything out and reshaping the eye on how I want it, and reshaping the wing liner, as I call it, so that I can have a perfect shape. And don't worry, I will be fixing everything. Now I'm also putting in some lashes, of course. I do very soft, quick strokes, and I don't use a lot of paint. I use a little bit. Okay, so that section, that was a mixture of just some watered down primer water from Smashbox, Avon Smooth Minerals blush, and a brush. And I put blush on my painting. Yes, I did. So now I'm mixing a lip shade, and as you can see, it's very tedious process. Sorry, I cannot talk today. Just mixing some browns, some pinks, some whites, just to get the perfect tone. If you see right there, I do have a liquid lipstick on and I'm trying to match it, so this is the best color that I came up with to match the liquid lipstick, and that is the shade Bow and Arrow from Kat Von D. So that's basically what I do, because I do want to use these eyeshadow looks that I do, or makeup looks, in my painting to do my series again next year. See, I matched it pretty close, so Bow and Arrow is good to go. And I like to match my lipstick correctly. That's all I'm doing. And I'm just layering and layering and layering the lipstick shade that I created to match the Bow and Arrow shade from Kat Von D. And then now I'm moving on to filling in my arrows. I'm sorry this is going really fast, but if I were to keep it at regular speed, I clocked an hour, and I cannot do an hour video, so I had to cut it down and speed it up. So I'm just putting some turquoise, some same metallic turquoise paint that I used on the eyes, onto the feathers of the bow, and then I'm filling in the arrow with brown, and I will go in and clean that up. I didn't film that part. I needed concentration on the cleanup. Alright, so now I'm just putting in some stars, just dotting some white paint all over sporadically, doesn't matter how the shape is, and then I'm doing my signature detail pieces. I just got some old earrings of mine, cut off some of the pieces that I didn't want, because this had the perfect turquoise jewel in the center, and I'm just kind of positioning it, seeing where I like it, and I finally decided just to put it on one side of the head. So I'm using some super glue to bind that down. And then I create these little bead pieces. This is my signature for my paintings, and some wire, and I'm just attaching it to her shoulder because this is my signature. So, and I kind of filmed a little bit. I'm just doing some bead work right here, just placing the beads on the wire and then just going down and buckling them down. Okay, as you can see, I'm just gluing everything down to make it nice and secure, and that's her shoulder piece that I created. I like doing that part. It's my favorite part of the painting, to put everything together. Now I'm going to copy the symbol of Sagittarius from my phone, and then I'm going to actually draw in the constellation into the painting and just dot some pencil marks where I want the shape to go. This one was really hard because it is a large constellation, so I had to pencil it in first, and then go in with white paint going over it where I dotted everything, and then you'll see the final touches that I do on my little constellation. This is in every single piece of my zodiac series. So I'm taking some glass beads. These are clear ones. I have one for each birthstone because I used these for my last year's paintings. If you haven't seen that, I will link all those videos down below of my makeup looks from my art pieces. So I'm just gluing on the glass pieces onto where I dotted the constellation, and then just making the shape. It's kind of squished in that area because it is a very large constellation, so it's going to be kind of like sideways. Alright, so now I'm just going in and kind of filling in the final touches, just cleaning everything up in some areas. And then I'm going to go take that teal shade and just put it over the glass beads so that I can match the actual gemstone color. And then I'm just signing my name onto the corner. You didn't see that, but I will show you in just a second. There you go, my name in the corner. And then I'm just kind of cleaning up the border, filling up the border, making it all black. And excuse me if this is really fast, but that's just the way I paint. I take a long time. So this is actually a span of 2 days painting. Alright, so that's the completed painting. I really hope you guys enjoy this paint with me type video. If you want more, please put in the comments down below if you would like to see more. And that's it, so please subscribe. And thank you for watching. I really enjoyed showing you my art pieces, and I hope to show you the whole collection coming up next year in the year 2016 so that you can see my makeup videos based on these paintings. So thank you for watching. Bye.